So during this class, we're going to be working on some raw files together to create some photographs. But first of all, what we need to do is import those photographs. So if you haven't already downloaded them from the resources pack, please go ahead and do that first. Once you've downloaded them, then we'll come back and get these imported into the library module. So if you've downloaded them, they should have appeared in your downloads folder. And the folder name is Ian Worth Editing Files. Inside that file, you'll find 6 raw files. Just leave them in the downloads folder for now, and we're going to import them into the library module. So here we are in Lightroom in the library module. I'm going to come over and click the import button, and that's going to bring up our import module. And as you can see, I do not have an SD card actually plugged in at the moment, so there's no photographs showing here. But what we're going to do is search for the downloaded images on our hard drive. So I'm going to find my downloads folder. Here we can see it here, and now here we can see the Ian Worth editing files. So I'm going to click on that, and then that is going to bring those files up into the import module, and we can see them all here. So the next thing to do is to come over and make sure all of them are ticked. And this is where we could either check all or uncheck all, but as you can see, they're automatically ticked. So that's going to import all of those images into the library. Next, we need to come over to the right hand side and just make sure we've got build previews as standard to make sure it builds the previews for us, so we don't have to worry about doing that once they're imported. Then we're going to come down to develop settings. I'm not going to apply any develop settings to these images because we want just the raw files to work on. I've got my standard metadata here set, but you can set your own if you wish to do that. In the keywords, I'm just going to write down Ian Worth Editing Files. Just in case I lose the files in the future, I'll be able to search for them using those keywords. And now I'm going to find a place on my hard drive to store these photographs. Now, like I mentioned before, I create a landscape photography folder for each year, so I know where my images are for each year. So if I come down to users and then come down to pictures, you'll see here landscape photography 2020. So if I click on that, make sure that's highlighted, and then come up to into subfolder, and now we can add a name to the folder that we wish to create. So to make sure they're all set in order, I like to number mine. So this is the first one I'm going to put in this folder, so it's going to be 01. I'm going to put Ian Worth Editing Files. And now you can see that's just appeared as a subfolder underneath that main folder. So that's where it will be positioned on the hard drive on your computer. So that will be the Windows C drive, under pictures, underneath landscape photography 2020, and then our file. Now you can name these whatever you wish to name them. Like I said before, if you've already got a system in place, then please go ahead and use that. But this is how I do things, and it works really well for me. So once we've got our file name all sorted out, I'm going to click Organize into one folder. Make sure that's checked, just in case we wanted to upload some more from a different day. It's all going to end up in one folder. And now I'm going to click Import, and it will just import these files. So if you go ahead and do the same thing, you'll find that these images should now be building their previews and appearing in the library module. So as you can see now, all of the files have come through to the library module. We can see them all here. If we want to enlarge them, just come down and toggle on the loop view here to increase the size of them. Now we've got a few different files that we're going to be working on during the class, and this is one we're going to be doing some basic edits to this one. And we've got a HDR blend that we're going to be doing, and also a panorama. So we'll be working on those later in the class.